ORYAH, welcome to PaPoppin, man.
Yo, man. How y'all doing today, man? I appreciate it being here, yo. Shout out PaPoppin and HTM Studios as well.
Appreciate it. So, are you from PA?
Yeah, man. Yo, I've been living in PA for most of my life now, actually. My family's originally from Brooklyn. And then moved here really early on and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay. Man. So, you weren't born in Brooklyn, but you were born here.
So I was born in Brooklyn. So funny enough, both my parents they're actually from Jamaica.
Okay.
Both my parents are immigrants. And I was born in Brooklyn, and then we stayed out there for about like a couple of years, like early on. We moved out here, and I was kind of going back and forth.
Then.
But I'd say I've spent most of my life out here though.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah. How'd you hear about PaPoppin?
Yo, it's crazy, yo. I'm actually gonna shout out my guy T-Rock.
T-Rock.
Yo, T-Rock.
Shout out T-Rock.
Yeah. I remember we did an event back in, I want to say end of August.
Okay.
End of August time. And he was the first person, bro. Because I remember I clicked up with him there and I thought he was dope himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, during chatting up and whatnot, he mentioned the page, and I had never seen a page like that specifically for this area itself, but just in general. So I was like, oh, okay, man, I'll give it a follow, see what's going on. And then I just liked everything about the page just off of like the type of content itself, but then even just like kind of like the structuring and the format, because there's not like a lot of stuff like that out here.
Yeah, for sure. So that song you performed for us, what's it called?
Yo, so that one it's gonna be called Questions. Yeah, I made it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Actually.
Okay, so it's in the vault.
It's in the vault right now.
Yeah, it's in the vault.
I mean, it depends. Maybe by the time this drops, it might be out. We'll see.
All platforms or?
Definitely all platforms. Yeah, all platforms for sure.
All platforms.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, so what was your mindset during that song or whatnot? Like, where were you at? Did it come off the top, or did you have it written down in the vault, just waiting to be made, find the right beat or whatever? So
I would say a lot of times for me, it will kind of be a sense where I'll have it written in the vault.
Okay.
And then a lot of times too, because I'll write most of my music without the beat itself, and I'll tend to kind of like do like a little mix and match, kind of see what sounds and when I kind of match it a lot of times. And I never always started like that originally. It kind of just developed into that process.
Okay.
Which is really interesting. I remember that when I was holding on to it for a while, I didn't have a beat for a long time. And then in my head originally, I knew it was going to be melodic, but I didn't know I wasn't sure if I was going to be like full on like singing how I did on the song, or if I was just going to kind of like do that little like that rapper shit. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I'm not going to sing, but I'm going to do like a little like.
Yeah, but you put some emotion into it too.
Exactly,
it's not just monotone and everything. Nah, I get that.
So I'd say like overall, like that was one of the ones where like I had the lyrics, I hit the studio, and then a lot of times I'll have it to where I know the lyrics will fit the beat pattern-wise, but I let the delivery just be kind of what it is in the moment.
Okay.
So even that one, like, the melody has a lot of space in the booth. I was just like, you know what? Nah, this is definitely when I gotta sing it, and then I definitely need, like, hella layers just to kind of, like, fill up the space.
Okay. So, you got a studio at home, or you got, like, a studio you want to shout out that you go to a lot?
Yo, man. So so since starting off, recording and whatnot, I've always been working with my guy Nate Cobain.
Okay.
Shout out my guy Nate Cobain. Right now, I know his studio is based in Kutztown at the moment, but he himself is pretty flexible as far as just like the recording process itself, and it's pretty nice working with him too. It's one of those things where, I'm sure you yourself too know, like it's a lot of people that call themselves engineers, or like there's a lot of people that call themselves producers, but they may not, and it's nothing wrong with that either. But everything's like a process. So like, there's, you might be at like this stage, or you could be at like this stage.
No, for sure.
But it's very rare when you meet someone that not only like they have the talk that they're at this stage
that matches what they're actually giving you.
And whatnot. So he's somebody too that I feel like working with him is just very easy, it's just very natural.
I mean, did y'all know each other since what? A long time ago? High school, kids, sandbox? How long have you known him?
I want to say that's a good question, bro, because I haven't even thought about it myself. I want to say it's been like 4 years.
4 years. Okay. So like COVID is when you.
COVID time, yeah.
Were you an artist back then?
Nah, it's funny enough too, because I had met him. Two of my other friends, Cozy Clyde and Sav, they're also around here too. They've been going to him prior to me. at that point as well too. But then I remember the one day I finally met him, they took me to the studio just on a random. The one day, and at the time I was making beats actually. At the time I had started off my music journey as a producer.
Okay.
I had just dropped the instrumental tape at the time that they had showed him. So when we met up and everything, he was like, yo, I heard this thing of yours, yo, it's pretty cool and whatnot. And I was like, damn, I'm hearing your work, like, yo, you're really skilled. And from there we just kind of like naturally clicked. But that initial meeting was right before the pandemic hit. So it was like, it was interesting because it was like, oh wow, this is like a new person that I just met and whatnot. Seems like a cool guy and whatnot. And then boom, pandemic happened. Everybody's just like inside.
Inside. TikTok started booming.
That too, man. That too.
A lot of TikTok artists.
Exactly. And I remember too, because at the time, like, I had met him right around the time when I decided I was gonna stop making beats. So it was also like, it was interesting. Like the pandemic was a weird time because I definitely needed the lockdown element, just as far as just like having that isolation to really like lock in and figure out, yo, what am I doing?
What are you gonna do?
What's gonna replace my old passion, which was making beats as well? Because I didn't know what I was gonna do at that point. And then later on, because I wasn't in this area at the time, I moved back out here, and then me and Cobain started linking up, and I was actually recording at that point. And I was just doing it for fun, just to kind of try to see, like, you know, how does it's like, you know, just the vibe and whatnot. It's like, yeah, you know, I knew that I could rap or make songs, but I never cared to do it.
Okay.
And then it was one of those things where like, yo, I would just hang out with them. I was like booking the sessions just for like fun, and then it kind of transitioned into like, nah, I'm gonna really,
you know, try it out. Actually, take it a little more serious.
Seriously,
I got that. that.
Man.
So I heard you got a blog.
Yo,
shout your blog out, man.
Yo, I'm gonna shout out WaveMax, man. Yo, if you want to check it out, www.thewavmax.com. But you know, it's interesting, yo. I would describe WaveMax as, how would I describe WaveMax? WaveMax is a music entity, and WaveMax is a sound-based movement.
Okay.
I would say, yeah. You know, it's one of those things I had, actually, it's funny, you know, going back to the last question. So during that pandemic period where I mentioned, I was like, yeah, trying to figure out, yo, what am I trying to do with myself? I stopped producing, and then right when lockdown started, I started the blog.
Oh, okay. So this COVID thing was like a blessing in disguise, kind of.
Man.
I I've been hearing that a lot, honestly. So
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, obviously, like, I'm not gonna sit here and like sugarcoat it. Like, obviously, you know, there's a lot of, you know, turmoil at the time and whatnot. You know, we got people actually like really dealing with this shit, really die from this shit and whatnot, as far as like the disease and whatnot. But selfishly, I do sit back and think like, damn, like, you know, maybe I could use one of these lockdowns again, just like a little bit, you know. But I know that's like me just selfishly.
Well, I know people would love those stimulus checks and all that. So
yo, man,
that time period was crazy.
Yo, people still hungry for stimmies now. Yo. Like, that shit, hey, man, that was a wild time, man.
The cost of living is crazy nowadays. It's just, it's insane. It's insane.
Yo, lately, yo, I've been thinking, cause I remember, yo, during that time, remember Lil Baby, he dropped that song, He Paid.
Remember?
I swear to God, that shit dropped around the time the stimmies came out. I feel like that was like
perfect.
Timing,
I mean, you know, maybe he did that on purpose, or his team did that, and like, yo, do this right now. You know what I mean?
Hey,
it's just,
yo, shout quality control, bro. If that was playing, shit, man, that shit worked. It worked.
So in this blog, like you said, it's a music entity. So what, you'd be showing like your beats, or you show your music, or like the background, behind the scenes kind of vibes?
So that's a good question. WaveMax is interesting too. And then with me starting it prior to and like doing the vocals myself, when I started the blog, my original idea, because I myself naturally, like, I'm pretty sociable, I'd say, overall, but I remember at the time too, and maybe because we were so isolated, like literally because of the lockdown, it was one of those things where I wanted to start something that I could operate myself in the background and not have to worry about, like, I don't know how to show my face. I could just anonymously run WaveMax. It can do its own thing.
Okay.
So even now, like, when I started off, it was a lot of, like, I did a lot of album reviews, single reviews, playlists, just like lists, you know, like, top 10, like, whatever, stuff like that. And that was more so just kind of like one spreading the awareness out there, but I really just kind of used Wave Max as first, and I guess even now just an outlet for me to kind of showcase and highlight what I like and care about musically, and then kind of just connect with people from there. I also like to tie Wave Max in a lot, at least with the branding. A lot of people will notice if you even check out the page yourself too, and especially right now, a lot of the branding is tied with anime and just Eastern
Anime, okay.
culture and stuff as well right now too. So, and that's more so just to kind of bridge that gap as well, because there's a lot of people that, like, for example, they might like anime, manga and stuff, and you might like hip hop. And I feel like today there's a lot of times where those worlds do meet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Still like a little bit
For sure.
every now and then. So I think Wave Max too is just like another way for me to kind of like use my own platform in that sense to kind of bridge that gap of two different things I have an interest in there, you know, because whenever it comes out to it, it's just, I don't know, Wave Max and anything else I do, it's just self-expression, you know, and it's really important to me for not just myself, but just anyone in general, yo. Like, you gotta express yourself.
No,
You
yes.
gotta do it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I definitely with the shopping malls and whatnot during the pandemic, do you think shopping malls are just going out? Are they just going out, like shopping outdoors?
Yo.
Like, I feel like even now after the pandemic, people are still shopping online, Amazon, all that. Man, I used to work at Amazon right after oh my goodness. Like, that Christmas time, peak season was insane. 6 days a week, like 12-hour shifts. I mean, hey, the paychecks were not... I had no life. I had no life at all.
Yeah, it's like you get that PTO, but like, is it worth it? It's like, you know. It's
But,
trade-off.
so, like, back to the question, you think the malls are just kind of just dying out? I know our local mall, like, it's dead. It's really dead. They're trying, but, like...
Man. I would say... It's interesting, yo. I was just in... I was actually over by KOP last weekend, actually.
Okay.
And, like, over there, you know, I was over, like, a weekend, so... You know, out there, it was still kind of popping. But I feel like in general, yo, like, outside of, like, the bigger, like, major malls in the U.S., yo, like, shit is just...
It's dry.
I don't know, it's looking spooky out here, man. I know even up by me, my family's up in the Poconos. Out there, they got the Stroud Mall. And even that, like, it's still a mall. But I would say, like, at this point, too, especially with, like, I don't know, like, the stores, like, it's like a new store, going down a few months or whatnot. But there's a movie theater that's successful. So it's like, it's basically like just like glorified movie theater.
Do you think that's like the foundation of that mall right now, that it's just holding it down?
Holding it down, you're paying the bills, yo.
Paying the bills.
Because at this point, too, I feel like you can't even have a mall or any type of, like, structure like that and have it just be stores anymore. You got to be something else to bring the people there, because, like you said, everybody just go online, bro.
Like the Berkshire Mall, like, I just see so many stores opening, closing, opening and closing. You know what I mean?
It's crazy, man.
You know, and in the city, you know, Reading, why I'm missing that Berkshire Mall is just, as a kid, that place, yo, even like teenagers, preteens, all that. I used to get dropped off there. Me and my boys would go, you know, smoke a little something, then we just walk around the mall for hours and maybe get some girls' numbers and stuff like that. But nowadays, I don't even see kids doing any of that stuff. Any of that stuff.
Bro. And it sucks, too, because like you said, like, that shit really used to be like a vibe. Bro.
Anyway.
Like, just pull up and just kind of do whatever. You don't even got to shop. One night you hang out, hit the food court.
Sure.
Yeah, man. So, I don't know. It's really interesting, though. We'll see what ends up happening.
So listen. What's, like, is spaghetti and angel hair different? Like, what? Like, I get that they're thin, but, like, is there an actual difference, or is it just like the shape? I feel like what do you think about that?
Yo, this man asking the real questions right now, man. I gotta say, bro, as an avid eater of both, because that shit easy as fuck to make, bro. Same thing to me.
Same thing.
Same thing to me. If anything, it's like one's like, it's like you got the angel hair, you know, it's nice, whatever, cool, and then you got like the BBL version. So you got upgrade, you know, get a little thicker from there.
A little thicker, okay.
But I don't know, but I don't discriminate. You know what I mean? Everybody's pasta choice is their own.
No, for me, my go-to is definitely some rigatonis with some nice meatballs. You know, I growing up with my grandparents. That's what they made. I love going to my grandparents' house. Like, listen, at home, my mom was not the best cook. She did her best. You know.
Shout out moms. Shout out moms.
My grandparents, oh, I love going there. I felt like I was at a fancy restaurant. They made everything look so nice and perfect. I'm like, man, I should really start recording what they make.
Right. It's crazy too, yo, because kind of tying into that, I have like a theory of my own where I feel like it's like when you have kids, it's like, okay, yeah, like, boom, you know, you have your kids, you gotta raise them or whatnot. But low key, it seems like with the grandparents, because it's not like obviously, you know, you still care about your grandkids and whatnot, but like, you don't have to be as directly responsible.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, I feel like the grandparents, like, let's just say you had like a strict ass parent. By the time you have kids, yo, the grandkid about to be mad spoiled.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's
because all the discipline, they don't gotta worry about that no more. You know,
I see that all the time. I see that all the time. Like, especially, yeah, I see that a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, respect though, because then, you know, I guess every generation kind of just like paves the way at that point and whatnot.
Speaking of families, man, so does music run in your family? Like, how'd you get interested in music? Family members, like, you know, what happened with that? How'd you get? Does it run in the bloodline? You think, you know?
So I'll say this, bro. Like, it's interesting because that's something. I'm glad you asked me that, bro. That's something that I've been like putting the pieces of the puzzle together to like recently.
Mm-hmm.
I know back in the day, and I never like when I was a kid, I never realized it at the time. But my dad, he used to DJ and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
New York and whatnot, yo. It's crazy. I mean, so some of the stories I heard, like he definitely was doing his thing out there and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Shout out DJs, man.
Or like when I was younger, there'd be like family events and shit. And, like a lot of times, like if he wasn't DJing it himself, like he was, you know, he had the equipment and all that stuff and whatnot. He was pretty nice, you know. So it was one of those things where like he would do that. I saw it from afar. I don't think it had any direct influence, but I think subconsciously, now that I'm older, like
it kind of like give you a little blueprint, maybe.
Yeah, man. But also too, with my family being Caribbean, like a lot of what I was growing up listening to or like just kind of being around, it'd be like a lot of like reggae, dancehall. Like my dad himself was a Rasta, so it was like a heavy reggae and whatnot.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think just all of those things, and just I don't know. I feel like in general too, Caribbean people, specifically Jamaican people, like I feel like we're all naturally talented, whether it's like music or art. It's like just in that creative space in one way, shape, or form.
Nah, for sure. But shout out DJs. You brought up DJs, man. DJs. My boy ADHG, shout him out. His pops, DJ H. Vidal, very well known in city of Reading, and even his grandfather's in the Hall of Fame, I believe, for like jazz or something like that. So like that right there, I grew up around. He used to bring me in the city. Me and ADHD would go, and he would. And this was, you know, back when they used to still sell CDs and stuff. Oh my gosh, I can't even, like, wow. And I was just always that supportive as person, you know. I was buying my boys pop CDs and all that stuff. But right now he's doing very well.
That's amazing, man.
He did 99.3. He's on that. He's the radio guy. So like he's doing.
Oh, yo,
yeah.
Hey, shout out, man. That's what you do.
Yep. Shout out DJ H Vidal for sure. For sure. And I for my grandparents, like my grandfather, he had a band that he was in called Soul Incorporated, and they did shows up and down East Coast. They had a van, like some Scooby-Doo van, and just they would go up and down the East Coast and do shows and whatnot. And
sounds funny shit.
Like in his house today, he still has a little studio that he'll go down and plays. He was the pianist in the band, so he would go down and play the piano. He has old photos of him and his band and everything up. Yeah, I mean, when he'd be stressed or something, he'll go down and I just hear him start playing and stuff like that. And then, so for me, like, even though I'm not on making the music as much, like I tried, I did instruments, you know, I tried violin, piano, guitar.
You definitely are a musical guy.
Yeah, but you know, I think I'm just, my route's a little different, but it's still around music. Music is just, you know.
That's dope, man. Yeah, cause I say too, cause like that's how I was exposed. I feel like, whereas me myself, a lot of my own music journey was definitely very self. I know early on, I remember, I'll never forget, bro. There was one Christmas that I tell a story like almost every interview I do. Yo, my family one Christmas they had got. Oh man, it was when Guitar Hero 6 came out.
Oh, Guitar
It was
Hero.
like that rock tour one.
Mhm.
Yo, me, my sisters, and my cousins. Yo, I swear to God, it was during a Christmas break. And then, yo, my parents got the game. From there, we were all just like locked in, obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
Every morning till night, fall asleep, wake up, Guitar Hero, Guitar Hero, Guitar Hero. So I got really into like metal and shit like that.
Okay.
Like, early on from that experience. And I think from there, it kind of just slowly transitioned into like hip hop.
That's crazy that you brought it up because that was going to be one of my questions. Like, you consider yourself a hip hop artist, rapper type vibe. Okay, so like, is there other music that you listen to? Like, beside, like you were just talking about metal rock and stuff like that. What about what's your thoughts about some country or some jazz blues type vibe, or
Yeah, I would say so. I think at this point, I've accepted that like hip hop is something that to me that's just never gonna. I think no matter what happens in my life, I'll always love and appreciate hip hop just off of like I don't know. That's just really done a lot for my life. Like both like personally, just as a listener and whatnot. But then outside of that, like nowadays, I listen to a lot of R&B.
Okay.
Maybe not like a lot of R&B, but a lot of R&B. I like neo soul specifically, like as far as that subgenre. From there, I say, oh man, there's definitely not a genre I dislike. I would say I feel like I can appreciate a lot of different things, but there's like certain niches. Like I would say, I'll be honest, I'm not really a big EDM guy. I'm not a big EDM guy. I'm not really a big. It's like some country songs I'd say. Like I like some country. But I'm not like a big country guy. Outside of those two, though, I say I like everything else. Though.
So country's down on the bottom.
You know what's crazy, bro? I think like up until you asking me this question, I would have said that. But when I really sit back and think about it, though, like, because there's definitely country songs, or like, even if it's not like country songs with country elements that I like. Whereas, like, I don't know, man. Like, EDM is one of those things where it's like I respect it from afar, and I definitely know, like, just off of like the actual production, cooking up and stuff. Like, it definitely takes a lot of talent and skill to do that. So I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, like, yo, EDM's trash. Like, oh, I don't like EDM. But personally, though, like, I just can't like. I can't go out of my way and be like, nah, I just need to like hear some us right now. Like that's just not me.
I feel you. Man, so you want to know an interesting fact? I'm pretty sure this is true. So, Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., which is like one of my favorite hip hop artists. You could ask any of the people that are around me. He's I got a playlist, but he surprised so many people when he told them that he really listened to a lot of like the reggae music, and he also enjoyed some country music too, that he like, and that just blows people's mind that he was listening to country.
But you know what too, another thing I'll say about country that I also like a lot, and I think is dope about country artists, the same way how like you can definitely do the same thing in hip-hop, and I think there's a lot of hip-hop artists that do it well, but yo, in country, man, they're really good at, like not to bring the point back up, just like expressing themselves. Like, if you listen to the country songs and it's like, bro, between like the songwriting or it's like just like this type of stories or subjects in like those songs, like yeah, you get like the generic like, oh yeah, yo, I'm getting drunk, cool, I got this shit. You're like, you still get that type of stuff in country music, but then like, bro, there be country songs where it's like, bro, this man's like depressed as fuck with his guitar, just like singing about how his chick just like cheated on him. I'm like, yo, this shit's like, it's like you almost have to automatically invest just off of the story sometimes.
For sure. So ORYAH.
Yeah, man.
Hardwood floor or carpet? What would you rather have?
Hell, man, I'm gonna go with carpet.
Carpet.
But it's definitely though, like the thing is, the one thing with the hard floor, like it's definitely easier to clean. So it's like, you definitely gotta pick your battles with that. Carpet
could stain, and that stain will be there forever. It just looks ugly as hell.
I mean, well, I'm gonna pause that, like, but I'm about to say some crazy shit, but I feel you though, because I got some carpets that definitely, especially growing up too, like whether it's like you're a kid and like you just drop like some stupid shit and it just gets stuck for
all the time.
But yeah, bro, like yeah, definitely a lot of stuff. pause it again, but definitely a lot of stuff staying in the carpets. Staying in the carpet. Yo, no Diddy. Don't Diddy. Yeah.
I can't believe that's a trademark now, bro.
That shit is melted. That shit is taking, bro. It's like the first person that said it, bro. I'm sure they knew like that shit was gonna take over the internet.
Made that a whole trademark, man. Now someone,
it's just too, bro. It's too easy to say, and it's just too like, especially when it's comedically timed, right? I'm not gonna it's a very serious thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand it's a very serious thing, but all the seriousness aside, it's just kind of funny. Like that's just kind of funny. I can't lie.
Yeah, but back to the carpets. For me, carpets. I'd rather go with the hardwood floors. At least in the living space. Now, for my bedroom, I would like some carpets. I'd like to take off, my socks.
Yeah,
and be comfortable.
Yeah,
and be comfortable. I don't want to hop out of bed onto a cold floor or something. Like nah. And it's crazy because I'll have the AC. I'm the type of guy to have the AC on in the winter. I don't know.
You're keeping it freezing.
Oh yeah, and like people say it's because I'm white. I mean, maybe my people from the mountains of Caucasus. But other than that, I don't know. It's just carpet for the bedrooms. Definitely my go-to. I like to hop out of bed, have my feet on some nice carpet, put my bathrobe on, and look out the window with a cup of coffee.
Yo, that sounds like the people.
And my people just say, "Wow, you really sound like a dad."
There'll be some real deal dad vibes, yo.
But going back to the anime,
yeah, man.
Heard you're a big anime fan, and obviously you said on your blog you talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, now I know right now it's kind of popularized in a way, anime. Like people would say, "Oh, but they don't really know." And for me, man, I'm not an anime guy. Like my boy ADHD again, I'm bringing him up. But yeah, growing up, we would smoke a little joint or whatnot, and he would try to get me to watch anime. However, I just have no interest in this. Myself would, I have no interest.
Like there's no shows, nothing.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. The games, like some Dragon Ball Z or some Naruto, that was pretty cool. But like watching it, no.
You sound like my guy Low-Key the Vision, man. It's crazy, bro. Yeah,
Low-Key.
It's one of the things where it's like, cause I know for me too, even with like anime and shit, I know growing up, I remember Adult Swim.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday nights, right when it's midnight boom tsunami. So I remember just being a kid, just growing up and stuff, like you just stay up that late naturally, like just, you get exposed to it, and then from there it's like, all right, do you stay up? Do you keep watching it? Do you go to sleep?
Oh.
I'd be up, man. So I'm just watching hella tsunami and stuff. And it was nice too, cause I feel like a lot of that stuff definitely shaped a lot of who I am today.
Okay.
I don't know, just how to be different too, because even just where I was growing up and stuff, like, it's not like, especially at the age too, like, it's not like when you're a fucking child, like, you should even be watching a lot of that shit anyways. But I was, like, unique in that sense. Like, I'd be going to school, it's like, yo, yeah, I'm watching, like, before Naruto got popular, so I'd be, like, 5 years old, like, yo, yeah, we got some Naruto, blah, blah, blah. Like, yo, what are you talking about right now? Like, stuff like that. But I don't know, it's one of those things where, like, I try my best, like, I don't ever want it to be, like, I don't ever want to be known as like, oh yeah, like I'm an anime guy or whatever. Because like I like anime. I'm not like an expert. It's just one of those things where it's like, it's something that I grew up liking that never really went away.
Okay.
A lot of times nowadays, I feel like I wish I had more time to actually like watch it, to be honest with you. I've been hearing a lot of stories about like the new stuff out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I only know like the classics.
Then I have no idea. Like I said, some Naruto, just because how it blew up. It blew up in a way. For me, I was that kid, 12 years old and under. Even still now, I was watching Law and Order SVU.
The same though. That's the thing though. That's a great one.
Law and Order SVU, Criminal Minds. I don't know why, but that's what intrigued me. And another show, My Name is Earl. I don't know if you know what that is.
Heard of that, I don't think I ever actually watched it.
Bro, as a kid, I used to try to copy. I would write down, I'm trying to get this good karma. I'm trying to get that 100K lottery. Yo, and I was like, okay, let me put that on the bad things and try to make up for it. Yeah, I didn't get too far with that. I'll say that. So.
I feel like sometimes, like, because, it's just like shows and whatnot, like, it's fiction, it's entertainment. But some of that stuff though, like the power of entertainment is definitely very creative and necessary. And like people really be making like their whole personalities off of like a person that's not even real that another person just thought of in their head. Like that's crazy.
Right, for sure. For sure. Sure. Future plans for your music though. Traveling, some events, music videos, any features that you're trying to get?
The future is very bright, man. I can't lie. I'm feeling pretty good overall. I feel like I've always been a person, even when adversity kind of comes by, a lot of times shit usually figures out. I feel like lately, coming off the end of last year was really nice. I feel like there was still a lot of things I needed to work on or kind of sort out.
I'd say you could always work on your craft for sure.
And that's like a lifelong thing as well, too, like you said, because even if, things perfect now, it might not stay that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say, too, like with me taking that approach now, a lot of things I have planned coming up, definitely a lot more music. I've been in the studio a lot more recently as well. Definitely try to perform more out of state again. I used to perform out of state a lot.
Okay. Like East Coast, or are you talking about you went to East Coast?
I think the furthest I've ever been was Chicago.
No, yeah.
But definitely trying to get back on that type of time. Because with me finishing up school, like, there's like, I also finished school recently. So then with that too, it's like, travel and whatnot. But then, if school costs money, travel costs money, you gotta, pick your battles. So I ended up, I got the degree now and everything. No limitations. Definitely trying to travel more. And from there, I think one of my main goals, and I appreciate anybody that's been supporting me so far too as well, and just building community. I think that's one thing that I think is very underrated. I think with the numbers and like the music and stuff and whatnot, which like I'm still appreciative of, and I'm glad that there's people out there that like my music enough that like they'd add it to the playlist and be like, oh yeah, it's my favorite song. I want to like repeat.
Nah, yeah, the song you just performed for us, I definitely wait. I'll wait for that one. I'm trying to have that on my playlist and whatnot. Definitely will bump that a little bit. So, questions on the way.
With that in mind too, though, it's just like, I don't know. I would say, to get to the point of the answer, it's like, yeah, there's all these generic things that we can all say that like, oh, what are we working on? Yeah, we're working on music, all that stuff. But my mindset this year has really been shifting towards community and just building
community as like a fan base, or just like networking.
Honestly, a little bit of
both. Okay,
because your network is still very important too. But I feel like even then, like I feel like I've learned a lot of new ways to help find new people or bring new people into music. So then from there, it's a matter of like, what can I do to like? Okay, you like my music, and you might even like me
as a person,
right? Yeah. But what else can I provide to you that's more? I mean, like, I guess with music, like, sometimes I'll bring like messages and whatnot. So like that's my way of giving back. Outside of that, like, because I appreciate whoever listens to me that much, like whoever my fans are out there. It's like, damn, what can I give to y'all more than the music itself? Because even if I wasn't giving them the music, I like me. So that's always gonna be there.
So it's like a personal thing as well. It's not just like trying to work for that bag or trying to be famous and stuff like that, where I feel a lot of people are so focused on that, but they're not even, they don't have a love for it. It's like, you think you're going to blow up and get this fame and money and all that stuff. And if that is the case and you do blow up, I think in a way that's just going to be a curse, because that's not something you truly love to do or whatnot.
Seriously. I feel like music is way too stressful, and just creative stuff in general is like way too stressful to do just for the money, and you're gonna be very disappointed. Like even once you get to that, if you're only doing it for that, it's gonna get old because your heart wasn't
in it. It is gonna get old.
So that's why like it's all about balance, because then it's like you still need like
the money in it.
But I've been thinking more community, just because it's like, all right, I can always give back to y'all with the music, but anybody that listens to me doesn't have to either. That's a choice, and I always appreciate that choice. So then with that in mind, because the audience out there is choosing to listen to me, how can I now repay you for that?
For sure.
Now, one of those ways is keeping the music consistent. So that
is definitely a key that a lot of people, they start or they've been doing it for a while and they don't see much, and much from it, and they just feel a little discouraged, you know.
So they start trying to like copy the next thing that the other like working for somebody else. Which, you know, more power to you if you want to do that. But I'd rather, like, my own self, it's like I'd rather just, you know, and again, like, obviously, again, you know, put the new ears on the music and whatnot, but then also whoever is now present here, blending consistently, now I know that, okay, my music is at this level of a standard that I need to keep it at, and then from there, anything else that I can provide will come with it. Because then you can do what I said and then focus on the other things, but if the music, like, if your music starts slipping too, that's how you lose the fan.
So back to the Chicago. So you went to Chicago. Wow. How is that? Because I mean, I haven't really, there's only one person that I've met so far that's actually from Chicago, and he's a older guy and whatnot. Shout out my man Charles, and he's my coworker, and like he from Chicago, and like I said, he's an older guy, but you know, we're real tight.
I'm sure he's probably a pretty cool guy too.
No,
for sure. Everybody I met out there, that was the one thing. And I know Chicago has the reputation that hip hop specifically too. Bro, Chicago, man, Chicago gotta be. That's probably like one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen. But also too, just like the people, everybody is really nice, really chill. I never felt uncomfortable or unsafe. Even I remember too, like the one I performed at a club out there.
Okay, a club.
And that shit was like dead ass, like it was like, you know, in the trenches and whatnot, et cetera, et cetera. But even out there too, it's like I never felt like, which also, I mean, that's also on me as well. Like I'm not overstepping or anything either to cause issues, but nobody ever went out of their way to make me feel any type of way or whatnot. I remember, I was out there, bro. I was sitting by the bar, and I think it was during the 2021 and 2022 NBA playoffs. And I'm sitting there watching one of the games and everything and whatnot with like these random ass dudes. We're all just like locked in. I'm talking to these people like I've known them for like a minute, whatnot. And it's just like, I don't know. It's really, it's a place that I definitely got to go back to. That's what I say. Chicago's a great city, man.
So you would definitely go back to Chicago.
Yeah, man. You just gotta, the one thing I will say.
Stay in your lane.
Know what you're doing, and just be yourself, man. That's what I would really say. Yeah.
So ORYAH. You know that name? I know I keep saying it, but I'm just trying to make sure that I got it right, man.
Yeah.
But so, with growing up, for me personally, I always would I would think, oh man, I'm gonna be like 6 foot. I mean, my dad was 6 foot, and my dad's side of the family is pretty tall.
Yeah.
So growing up, did you think you were gonna be like real tall? And then when it happened, were you like, oh man, I'm disappointed, and like, or like you try to make yourself a little taller? Because I heard you playing basketball could help.
So I'll say this, bro. I'll keep the answer nice and easy for you, man. Because I will say, I feel like deep down growing up, I think I always knew I was gonna be like 5'6", 5'7". I can't lie.
Okay.
But my dad, similar to what you said, though, my dad himself is tall. Actually, he's pretty tall. I just know that like there's not even a lot of guys in my family in general for reference point, but he's like the only tall person. So
Okay. So he was the lucky one.
Exactly. Even like on my mom's side, like my grandfather, like me and him are like the same height now. Stuff like that. The guy cousins kind of like the same height. So I don't know. I think it's just the genetics that it's. But I don't mind it either though. Too, it's definitely comes with its own advantages and disadvantages as well. But I don't really mind being quote unquote short.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that I would say it does bother me a little bit. I wish I was a good, at least maybe like 5'11", 5'11", right? I mean, right now I'm like 5'8", 5'9". So, I'm considered average and whatnot. And my mom's side, I never really looked at them, but like my mom's side is short. My mom's 4'9", bro. My mom is 4'9".
So you definitely balanced out.
Yeah, I balanced out. So I guess I'm lucky in a way. But man, I was hoping for that 5'11", 6 foot.
In the league, man. Shit. In the league.
But yeah, so thank you for coming out, man. Tell the people where they can find you. All platforms with IG. What's your Instagram?
Yeah, man. So thank you for having me and whatnot. This is really nice. Myself, ORYAH. You can find me on all platforms. ORYAH.
Okay.
On Instagram itself, it'll be that ORYAH.WAV wave. So definitely find me on there. But outside of that, yeah, if you just type in ORYAH, Louis, I feel like a lot of times I'll usually come up.
Definitely, your name's unique, and you know it's not the Lil because I feel a lot of people got that Lil.
Yeah, like I'm a little guy, but I'm not the little, though. I'm not the little,
Lil.
But yeah, man, ORYAH, all platforms. I'm on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you can listen to stuff. Honestly, yeah, I should be over there.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, man. Shout out PaPoppin too, yo.
Thank you.